Strap into your seats and get ready. It's time for the Mortarpod.
Hey everybody, Alex Stephenson and Jake Faas here. Welcome to this week's episode of the Mortarpod. Jake, what's going on?
Oh, not much. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. We're going to finish off M15 spoilers this week. You got a little extra time off from us last time. I think we've been down for maybe 10 days or something like that?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about Magic for about 10 days.
Yeah. So that'll be good to catch up. So for finishing off the spoilers, we're just going to do some of the remaining rares and talk about some of the sliver cycles, because we left off with the Sliver Hive was actually the first of the sliver spoilers, so we were all confused because we're like, why don't we see, a bunch of other cards were already spoiled at that time, but not one other sliver, so we were kind of confused. But there has been some slivers, and we're going to go through all of them at once. So just quick reminder, check out SeemsGoodMagic.com. I've been still putting up the Vintage Masters draft videos. I ended up getting a couple pieces of Power 9 out of a couple drafts ago. I got a Mox Emerald and a Time Twister, so I was pretty happy about that. And then I did a draft today. I don't think I'm going to post it, though. I got absolutely steamrolled, but I got Lion's Eye Diamond and Force of Will, so that was kind of nice too.
Oh, that's sweet, yeah.
A little bit of value. But yeah, without further ado, I think we're just going to jump into it. Keep your eyes open for Travelers of Storia. The board game should have some videos ready within the next few weeks here. We're really just at the kind of final stages here, so I'm excited about that. But all right, let's jump into it. First, spoilers. We've got a full cycle of uncommon slivers, and then the Sliver Hive Lord, who is a mythic. So there's Belligerent Sliver in red, Constricting Sliver in white, Diffusion Sliver in blue, Leeching Sliver in black, Venom Sliver in green, and then Sliver Hive Lord, like the, what was the last 5-color sliver name? The Queen, Sliver Queen?
Well, that wasn't the last one, but that's one of them, yeah.
Oh, okay. There's actually been multiple 5-color slivers.
Yeah, Sliver Legion and Sliver Overlord too. So
that's right.
Sliver Hive Lord is just Sliver Legion is the one that everybody forgets, I think.
I see. Is that the Onslaught block one or something, or?
No, that's the Future Sight one. It's just a 5-color, 5/5 coat of arms, I think.
Oh, okay.
For slivers, so.
I see. This is the 5-color one is a 5-color 5/5, and then it makes all your slivers have indestructible, which is actually, I would say, super relevant considering he gets his own protection. So at worst, he's a 5-mana 5/5 indestructible, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool ability on a sliver,
Yeah, it is. You and I were talking about this is it for slivers. So at this point, M15 is spoiled. The best you can expect to get in slivers is just a bunch of uncommons, and bunch, I mean 5. That's it.
And none of them pump, so it's Leeching Sliver is the one you really need.
Yeah.
If you got multiple Leeching, multiple Belligerent on some way, somehow, that'd be really good.
Yeah, I guess that's the best you could hope for. But I'm assuming in M14 they had a full cycle of both common and uncommon?
They had 2 commons in each of red, white, and green. And then they did an uncommon in each of those colors too.
Wow.
And a rare in each of those colors. And then blue and black had 1 rare.
Wow, okay. So they had way more going on in that one.
I'm pretty sure there were 2 uncommons for each. There was like the butt pump sliver and the vigilant sliver were both uncommon, I think.
I see.
And then there was the double strike sliver at rare and white, and then trying to think of what the uncommon sliver would have been from that. But
well,
still.
let's go through these uncommons from M15. The belligerent one is red, and it makes it so slivers can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Now, didn't we see that on a sliver before in onslaught
Yeah,
block or
yeah.
not?
This is two-headed sliver, I think.
Just a
Mm,
cheaper, smaller version of it.
Yeah, and then I don't think that it was an onslaught block because onslaught block had provoke,
I
and there was a
see.
provoke sliver, so
So it would have been what other set? I
it
don't
was
know.
time spiral with
Okay.
two-headed sliver.
Okay. So belligerent sliver. I think that one was what, a 5 mana 3/3 with that ability, or
hmm It was a 2-mana 1/1 actually.
oh, interesting. So they increased it by 1 and made it a gray ogre.
hmm
Okay. Well, I'm a little bit surprised. I figured they could have come up with some more abilities. These other ones are,
They're all unique actually.
except for that one.
Yeah, except for that one. I think
Okay.
all the other ones are new.
Well, we've got constricting sliver, which is the white one. It's a 6 mana 3/3, and it's got basically Banisher Priest for all your slivers,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. I like that one. It seems pretty powerful.
Yeah. Even at 6 mana, it's fine.
Yeah, this is one that really doesn't need sliver support to be
hmm
perfectly playable.
The other thing about it is, like, the ability only needs to be there when the sliver enters the battlefield. So as long as you get it out for 1 turn and you can play another sliver afterward,
I see what you're
that
saying.
sliver is still,
Yeah,
it's not all dependent on the constricting sliver being there. It's each sliver has that ability when it enters and for as long as it's on the battlefield,
that's
basically.
yeah, that's very interesting. So constricting sliver leaves, and say you
hmm
have a leeching sliver that has a card that it is exiled. So
hmm
then when that leeching sliver dies, it still resolves. It's almost like a lapsing trigger. It will
Yeah.
still return it to
Yeah.
to the battlefield under their control. Very
hmm
interesting. We've got diffusion sliver in blue. This is a 2 mana 1/1. And whenever Sliver becomes the target of spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell unless its controller pays 2. I like that it's only an opponent controls too, which
hmm
is kind of interesting. Not quite hexproof, but
I think this is
decent.
the the very fair way to bring like a hexproof like ability in because this is kind of one of the cards that the legacy deck hinges on is crystalline,
Hmm.
and being able to drop it off Aether Vial. So having that option still in Modern actually
Could
makes
be
Modern
beneficial. Yeah,
possibly a Sliver deck available.
interesting. Next, we've got Leeching Sliver. 2 mana 1/1 black sliver, and whenever sliver you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life. So basically turns all of your slivers into little what was that vampire's name? The 1 drop.
Pulse Tracker?
Yes, turns all your slivers into little pulse trackers. So that's
hmm
kind of cool. It's almost like another pump lord theoretically, played alongside the muscle sliver or the sinew sliver.
Yeah, this one's
Um,
definitely the best of this cycle in my opinion, just because it has the most relevance for an attack strategy, which slivers want to be.
Sliver is typically beatdown, correct? That's a good point. Okay. And then we've got Venom Sliver, 2 mana 1/1, and slivers you control have Death Touch. So this one is yet another one that's completely fine on its own. Is a little
hmm
2 drop Death Toucher.
Yeah, I
Um,
like this one. It's fine enough. With
so
Leeching Sliver, it's really cool.
yeah, that's true. Then they don't want to block
Yeah, and
either.
actually Belligerent Sliver in this one is pretty good.
Yeah, I could see
Just
that.
swing with Belligerent Sliver alone and
They
make
have
them
to
double
lose.
block.
Yeah, they have to lose 2 dudes. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. Okay, and then we went over Sliver Hive Lord already. So that's it for slivers. Uh, Not too terribly many. We
Yeah.
are going to have a small 2 or 3, I guess 3 month window where M14 and M15 slivers are going to be together.
hmm
Are we going to see constructed deck? I actually think still no.
I don't think so either,
Yeah,
but
just not enough.
if it's possible, it's in Modern because there's the Time Spiral block slivers, you
And
know.
those were pretty good, yeah. At least you have
Yeah.
another lord
Yeah, Sinew and well, I guess Muscle's not in, but Predatory is available,
in
or
M14, yeah.
Predator Sliver.
Hmm. Okay.
I'm wondering if they even needed to say Sliver Hive Lord, if they couldn't have just called him Hive Lord or something.
I see. Well, but the slivers have to have the name Sliver in it, doesn't it?
Sliver Queen, Sliver Overlord. Yeah, you're right. I guess they have all said it before, so
Yeah, I guess they
you're
have
right.
to.
hmm
Okay. Next, we've got some blue rares. So now it's just going to be some of the rares from colors that we didn't mention in the last podcast. So we've got Aether Spouts, Chief Engineer, Polymorphous Jest, and Jace the Living Guild Pact. So let's start with the last one. Let's start with Jace. So we've got a new Jace. He's a 4 mana, 5 loyalty planeswalker. He's got a +1 of look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your graveyard. He has a -3, return another target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then -8. Each player shuffles his or her hand and graveyard into his or her library. You draw 7 cards, which is almost Time Twister, except self-only draw 7. So, first impressions of the new Jace? What do you think?
It's cool that he comes down at 6 potentially, you know. His +1 basically has no effect on anything, you know.
Just card quality a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he shows up post-rotation when, like, mono blue still wants to be a thing, because he still works really well with Thassa, you know. But Thassa already gives you the card selection, so I don't know. I just, until I see him in action, I'm not really that impressed, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think it's a stretch to say he's a definite downgrade from Jace Architect of Thought. So,
I almost would have rather had just another year of Architect of Thought, to be honest.
Or even go back to Bellerin. I miss him a little bit.
Yeah, actually, since they went back to Liliana Vess in this set, they could have gone back to Jace Bellerin. But this one's okay. It's fine in its own way.
Yeah.
I like that all of the abilities actually do have synergy with the ultimate, in that you can, let's say you get them to 11, you can bounce their permanent 1 turn, and then, provided they don't play it, you know, you can make them shuffle their hand and to their library.
I see.
And it shuffles himself if he dies to get the ability, so, you know.
That's true.
And
oh, you're cutting out. So I think you're
I'll
gonna have to.
switch
Yeah, I think you should got to switch to your webcam mic there.
Okay.
So what were you saying?
I was just saying that like all of his abilities actually do work well together, because even when you're selecting cards to put into your graveyard, if you're ultimately going to pull off the -8 ability, they still are going to be back in your deck eventually. So he's actually using his graveyard. This one uses the graveyard more as a resource or a place to store things than a typical blue planeswalker would, I feel like.
Yeah, he's okay. I wish he was better. It's very unusual to see a Jace that has an ability that is, you know, obviously related to card draw, but doesn't actually give you any card advantage. So that kind of sets him apart as a weaker Jace in my mind. But he's okay.
I think that coming down with the potential to go to 6 or to bounce a permanent and be still there
is fine
to annoy makes him actually a better card.
He could be playable. He's totally playable.
I think as a 4-drop 6 loyalty planeswalker, he's actually pretty strong. You know, but Architect of Thought would have been hands down better, I think.
Okay. I think I agree with that. All right, next, let's move on to the other blue rares here. So let's start with Aether Spouts. It's 5 mana instant. For each attacking creature, its owner puts it on the bottom, or on the top or bottom of his or her library. So, combo of cards like Repel, Aetherize, Griptide. The only difference being your opponent actually gets the choice of whether they want to put it on the top or the bottom. Either option is good, in my opinion, for the player playing the Aether Spouts, but you kind of get the impression of why they had to give the attacker the choice, because if you just put like 5 creatures on top of their deck, they're just dead, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
no, it's really, I think this card is amazing.
Yeah, it's great. You think constructed play? Maybe like sideboard, one of or something?
Maybe as a one of, but, you know, the fact that it hits no matter where they're going, so even protects your planeswalkers, is pretty sweet too. So for me, this is actually a really fun card. I would play this card.
I think it's good. I like it. And it's cool, maybe even cool in Commander. I kind of like
that.
Oh,
it's definitely a Commander card, for sure.
Because it takes out the Well, it doesn't really take out the commander,
the
but
person who's got like 1,000,000 tokens and they're sending them to everybody to kill everybody in one turn. It's just like, oh, Aether Spouts.
mm-hmm.
And no, or even Aetherize is good in that situation.
Yeah,
but,
I guess that's true.
But having another thing that basically wipes the board of attackers is really sweet. I think this is a really cool place for blue to be, where they're not quite, board
Removal,
wipe, but they actually are in an instance, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next is actually a really exciting card, the implications of it. We've got Chief Engineer. So this is a 2-drop, 1/3 Vidalcan Artificer. And it has artifact spells you cast have convoke. So all of your future artifacts you can make cheaper. And the beauty of this one is he comes down and you can immediately, play a 1-drop artifact for free. So
or tap him for Sensei's Divining Top.
Ooh,
he's actually really cool.
Yeah, he's good. The thing that's interesting about him is, unlike typical lords, he doesn't gain any value in multiples.
No, you're right.
So he's just good as soon as you see him. He's
mm-hmm.
good. So maybe you only need to pack 3 in a deck if you have some sort of strategy where you really want to bust out those artifacts cheaply.
Mm-hmm.
Is there going to be a place for this guy?
I don't know. I feel like there is the potential for like a tier 2 or 3 modern deck with Master of Ethereum and like a blue affinity deck. I think it's actually more red because they use Shrapnel Blast.
Yeah.
But they also go for the cranial plating. I mean, the modern deck that uses that's affinity right now is so fast.
Cheap already. They're already cheap. They don't need it.
So this would be for somebody who wants to play a different style of deck, where this would be more in line with what I would kind of want to play.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 drops artifacts that you want to cheat out very cheaply.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that, I mean, he's interesting. And I think there's going to be some definite strategies that you can really work towards with him and get some good value, but I'm just unaware of them at the moment.
A really amazing commander card, though, for sure.
Yeah, for any sort of artifact-themed deck, I agree with that. That's cool. Okay, next we've got Polymorphous Jest. This is a 3-drop, or 3-mana instant, rare. Until end of turn, each creature target player controls loses all abilities and becomes a blue frog with base power and toughness, 1/1. Now, is that kind of new wording with the base power?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's just for clarity's sake, so that people don't go, well,
it's got a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
I see. Great card. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What a brutal card this is going to be in Limited. Yeah, well, it's just your... okay, you attacked with 5 guys. Polymorphous Jest, block them all, take out your army for 3 mana?
Yeah.
They just gave blue 2 Omega rare
great
army stoppers.
Wogs. Yeah. I love it. But this also indicates to me that there is coming this kind of amass an army kind of set.
Theme.
That's the next set. Is going to be a lot of creatures on the board.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since we've seen something like that, but all right. Well, that's it for the blue rares. All right, next one is he's a little bit pixelated. Pardon that, but we've got Garrick Apex Predator. So we've got a 7 mana, 5 loyalty planeswalker. He's in both black and green. He's got +1, destroy another target planeswalker. He's got +1, put a 3/3 black death touching beast token onto the battlefield. -3, destroy target creature you gain life equal to its toughness. And -8, target opponent gets an emblem with whenever a creature attacks you, it gets +5/+5 and gains trample until end of turn. So right off the bat, unique aspects of this planeswalker. We have a planeswalker who gets bigger, destroying another planeswalker. Kind of a narrow ability, but brutal, I'm sure, every once in a while. And then we've got the opponent gets an emblem. It's almost like it's the appearance of a negative emblem.
Yeah, it's the first time they've done it, and it's pretty cool. I really like that they did it that way.
Oh yeah, and you and I had talked about this briefly, but how brutal is it that you're spitting out 3/3 death touching beasts, and then if your opponent has the emblem, you're attacking them with an 8-power trample death touching beast.
Yeah.
Just brutal. The destroy target creature gain life equal to its toughness is great too. I
Mhm.
really like that. I feel like in a pinch that could be a total lifesaver. Just really, really cool card. It's very expensive, but it's 4 ability Planeswalker, which is pretty much limited to what? Him and Jace the Mind Sculptor? Is that it?
Yeah, and I think I like what they're doing here, which is saying we'll do this on a 7-mana, 8-mana Planeswalker.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do it on a 4-drop anymore.
I agree.
And
It's the Nicol Bolas condition,
Yeah,
where it's like
yeah.
his abilities are just brutal, but
Yeah.
his barrier of entry and play is like enormous.
Mhm. But he was so cool once you got him out.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
god, it was game
love-
over.
I
Yeah.
love to play Nicol Bolas when he was in Standard. But this is, I
Great
think,
Grixis finisher, yeah.
yeah, this is another card that I would love to play while it's in Standard too,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just it's really cool.
It's very rock too. It feels very rock. It's got a
Mhm. I can
variety
handle
of
everything basically.
variety of powerful abilities.
Mhm.
Even cool alongside Vraska, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's nice that they're going to be in Standard together because she's like, oh, I can take out anything, and he's like, well, I can kill Planeswalkers, so you
And
know.
creatures, yeah.
And I don't know, she's not that great, I know it, but she's cool that they still have to dedicate time to kill her
Mm-hmm.
when you use her ability.
So, yeah, because of the 7 mana, probably not going to be affecting Standard all too much.
Not going to be more than a 1-of.
But
I don't
cool
think.
card nonetheless, and I do like it.
Great commander card.
Okay, next we've got green rares. We've got Hornet Nest, Colonian Twin Grove, and Life's Legacy. So let's start with Hornet Nest because I like this card. It's pretty cute and cool. 3 mana, 0/2 insect creature. It's got Defender, and whenever it's dealt damage, you put that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch onto the battlefield. Now, something to keep in mind with this card that's very important. If it blocks an 8 power guy that doesn't have trample, you're getting 8 1/1 flying death touchers. So just as a blocker in limited, this card is going to be really hard for some decks to deal with.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to want to swing into it. And flying death touchers is nothing to scoff at, and also very unusual for green.
Right. And it's solely based on the Hornet Queen or whatever. They put her in this set too. So
I thought it was kind of like a homage to Killer Bees, sort of. But
I think that's where they originally keep it from, I guess. And Yavimaya Gnats and Locust Swarm, stuff like that.
Yeah, the insect flyers, they do that occasionally.
They get insects, but yeah, this combo is actually really cool. But I guess it wouldn't make sense to be Reach Death Touch, which is what they would need to do in,
That would be really good. That might even be constructed playable if it was Reach. The
Hornet Nest?
Yeah, if the Hornet Nest had Reach.
Then I initially was like, it doesn't have Reach, but I think it's just way too good if it has Reach, and then you're killing their flyer the next turn, after
and it doesn't really make sense that it would have Reach. I mean,
No.
I understand it's up in a tree branch, but I don't see it like blocking.
But it's not making the effort to go block.
It shouldn't even be able to block that well, so it's
it really should just be a creature that can't attack or block, but whenever it's dealt damage,
So then it's
So
like
you
a
can,
combo deck sort of thing that you want to do with it. I see.
Yeah, so you can stir the nest by dealing damage to it or something.
What's nice is you can still stir the nest, in some ways, just by if you have some sort of ping.
If you have a
thing.
pinger, it's actually really cool. If you can pump its toughness, then it becomes even better if it can stick around in combat.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of auras in this set, so the ability's out there, I think.
Yeah, it's a cool card though. I like it flavorfully. It is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like it would be an insect if it's actually the nest. Shouldn't it be
It's the same thing with Pirate Ship.
Wait, what is the creature type on Pirate Ship?
Well, it used to be ship, but it's not the ship. It's the pirates on the ship.
I see.
This is a hornet nest, so it's not really the nest itself that's killing you or dealing any damage. It's the hornets inside that are actually causing the pain. So
I won't make us think about that. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. That was a change they did a while ago just because they kind of were like, why are we calling this creature a ship?
Yeah, it's just an unusual creature type that's
Yeah.
unnecessary. All right.
Yeah.
Next, we've got Colonian Twin Grove. This is a 6-mana star tree folk warrior. Its power and toughness is each equal to the number of forests you control, and when it enters the battlefield, you get to put a green tree folk warrior creature token onto the battlefield with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of forests you control. This is a cool card. I like this one. So it doesn't lend itself terribly well to multicolor, but if you're, if you're heavy green, you can have the chance to maybe, spit out 6-mana 4/4s. I mean, at best 6-mana 2 6/6s, but
Well, they get bigger.
Yeah, and they get bigger.
Power toughness does scale, so.
progressively as you're playing more. So this seems like a very powerful limited card. I like it.
I like it with the new Nissa too, where you
yeah,
already want more lands out.
More
anyway.
forests anyway, yeah. So there's sort of a there's some incentive in this this core set to be mono green at the very least. Maybe not the other mono colors, but definitely mono green. Okay. And then finally we've got Life's Legacy. This is a 2-mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast it, sacrifice a creature, and then you get to draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. So when I first saw this, it reminded me of the Rise from the Eldrazi card, Momentous Fall. Is that what it was called?
Yep.
And that was a great card. I remember getting hugely blown out and limited with that. Where your
that card was amazing.
It would be like draw 8. Isn't there some other crazy part about it too, like gain life or something?
You gain life equal to toughness, you draw equal to power. So
yeah,
it's like
I swear I saw someone like attack with their 8/8 Annihilator too, and then they're like draw 8, gain 8.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Can I read that? Yeah. No, that card was amazing.
Or oh my god, no, you know what it was? Now I remember. It was Palaka Worm. It was like attack with my Palaka Worm, Momentous Fall, draw 7 or draw 8, gain 15 or gain 14 or something like that.
Isn't it when it enters you gain the life and when it dies you draw a card?
Yeah, I think it's in that order. So
yeah. So you already gained the 7. You're gonna gain another 7, so you've gained 14 total off
and
of
then
it.
Draw 8.
Draw 8 total.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So obnoxious.
14 life with 2 cards. Jesus. That's insane. But this card actually seems good too. I think Life's Legacy is going to be very, very limited playable. Cards like this in green are very cool because green has the most efficient creatures. So you just presume you're just going to presume to be, sacrificing, using 2 cards to net maybe 3 to 5 or something like that.
Yeah, I think this would have been a really great card to have access to for a longer time while Simic was around, So maybe it could have been in Theros block somewhere, just because. But it's cool to have it. It's just, it would have been really cool with scaling power off of Evolve and then playing this,
I really also wouldn't have mind if it was maybe 1 more mana and instant. I feel like this is a card that would have played very well at instant, so you can get the, chump block in and then do it or something like that.
Yeah, it's true.
But that's okay. It's still, it's cheap.
It's a great card, yeah.
It's very cheap. So I like it. All right, next. We've got the white rares. So we've got Spectra Ward and Hushwing Gryff. So Spectra Ward is a 5-mana aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from all colors, and this effect doesn't remove auras. That's a cool card. So it kind of gives you the... what was the name of that angel? Was it Spectral Angel? Was the name of the angel that had all colors? Pristine, okay. And then it's been a while since I've seen the "this effect doesn't remove auras" text. If ever, actually.
It used to be just on the wards,
Okay.
Basically, but it would always state themselves. They would only protect themselves.
I see. So now it's just...
It doesn't affect auras at all. So you can actually play your bestow guys and then follow it up with Spectral Ward.
Very cool. I like it. Definitely going to be a bonkers limited card. Anytime a creature's got pro all colors, that's a tough dude to beat. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then next we've got Hushwing Gryff. This is a 3-mana, 2/1 flash flying hippogriff creature. And then creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. So it's almost like a mashup of... it's like the Torpor Orb and Aven Mind Sensor.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly that. It's okay. It's cool because it's something to be like in response, you know, and I
It's
have
it's
something.
it seems like it's a modern staple for stopping the pod decks. You
Hmm.
know, they're like use my pod, sack this guy in response, bust this guy,
Yeah,
stop whatever into the
it also
battlefield effect
stops
you have.
Splinter Twin, I suppose, too.
Yeah. So that's actually a good point. So that makes a lot of sense then. So very, I think that this is like a card that seems to be addressing the issue with modern, which is 3 to 4 decks that seem to be on top and dominating.
I'm kind of surprised that they opted to go so expensive with it then if they were trying to stop combo from going off, you
I
know.
see. You think 3 mana is too much?
I think so. Especially if you're on the draw, then you're already a turn behind. I don't know.
I guess
Feels
that's
like
true.
feels like it's risky.
I like that it's got the flash. I like that it's a beat stick a little bit. It's also a surprise blocker in like limited and stuff. So it seems like a pretty versatile card. I like it.
Hmm.
I think it's good. I think it's gonna see. You know, honestly, it could even see constructed play. I don't think that's out of the realm of reason at all.
No, I don't think so. I think it's cool. I like it a lot.
At least some sideboard play. So we'll
Hmm.
see. Okay. Next, we've got black rares. So we have Stain the Mind and Necromancer's Stockpile. So let's start with Stain the Mind. This is a 5 mana sorcery with Convoke. Name a non-land card. Search target player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of the cards with that name and exile them. Then that player shuffles his or her library. So it's the Memoricide of this core set,
Hmm.
and it's got the little Convoke attached to it. So this card doesn't excite me too much. Seems like sort of just a easy way to mash or put Convoke on a black
Yeah.
ability.
I feel like this card is kind of lame. I honestly would like to return to the days of lobotomy. Let me look at your hand and choose one of those cards and exile it.
Get the guaranteed value.
Yeah, yeah. This seems like I hate this effect, you know, without an additional thing attached to it. And at 5 mana, it seems ridiculously expensive, even though it has Convoke.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing Thought Hemorrhage and feeling great about it, but that's because sometimes I would deal
6 damage.
6 damage or
Yeah.
3 damage even, you know, and be happy with it because it had an additional effect.
Yeah, maybe even kill a planeswalker.
Yeah, yeah, and that was actually some pretty cool stuff. Had they brought Thought Hemorrhage back instead of Slaughter Games, it would have been really, really sweet against Six's Rev. But anyway, Stain the Mind, meh.
Yeah, a little bit unexciting. Just
Yeah.
it seems like just an easy way to put Convoke on a black ability.
Hmm.
Next, we've got Necromancer's Stockpile. It's a 2 mana enchantment. It's got 2 mana, discard a creature card, draw a card. If the discarded card was a zombie card, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield tab. So obviously cool with like cards from the past, like Gravedigger. Or not Grave, not well. I guess Gravedigger too, but I was specifically Gravecrawler. Actually,
Yeah.
Gravedigger works fine too, which is funny. But
Gravecrawler is amazing with it.
you can just keep discarding it and then getting it
Are there
back
any
out.
that let you just return it to your hand?
You know, honestly, there probably is, but I just can't think of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's ever really a zombie ability, so probably not. But
this card is really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool card.
I'm really happy with it. Draw a card just for discarding a creature card is pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. So even if you don't have the zombies going, see, my thing is, I understand kind of the use of it, but it seems like in limited, a lot of the times you're playing the creatures. It's hard to get. It's hard to really just bank on discarding a puny creature to get a better card. You know,
it's not. I don't think it's a limited card per se.
You could build around it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a constructed card. Yeah, and if you got it first pack and there is enough zombie support in this set, you could probably do it. I noticed the Paragon from Black, which is the lord that pumps all other black creatures, is actually a skeleton. So
not a zombie.
Yeah. But
too bad this card's not like Death Baron then, where you've got draw a card if it's a zombie or a skeleton.
Yeah.
Sometimes they lump
if
those
it's
two
an undead.
together. Yeah. Because I always thought that was cool that Death Baron had a positive interaction with, what was the name of that land that was part of the cycle of like Gitu encampment and all of that nonsense.
Oh yeah, spawning pool or whatever.
Yeah. I think
I
that
don't
was
know.
it. But I always thought that was cool that Death Baron had positive interaction with that card. basically gave you a death-touching regener.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is cool.
All right. And there was a time, actually, where the Death Baron was worth some money, I think.
Yeah, he still might be worth a little bit.
I think yeah, I think you're right. He's just a popular zombie lord.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we've got a red rare, Kirkesh Onaki Ancient. This is a 4-mana, 4/3 legendary ogre spirit. He's got some very long arms.
Yeah.
Whenever you activate an ability of an artifact, if it isn't a mana ability, you may pay red, and if you do, copy that ability, and you can choose new targets for the copy. This is a cool card. They made it legendary, so you can't get multiple copy effects. Just a cool card. I think you and I said it was going to be a good commander card for sure. Certainly limited playable. I don't have any issues with this in limited, especially considering there are some decent artifacts at common and uncommon in this set. So seems okay to me.
With this set, they wanted to push that red actually likes artifacts, not just that they like to destroy them.
I see.
So they're trying to show some positive red interaction with artifacts in this set.
Okay. That's cool. I'm down. Not too much else to say about it, I guess. I like his name.
Yeah.
Onaki is cool. It sounds like I think there was some ancient like Egyptian race or something it was like Anunnaki or something. So I kind of feel like they're trying to draw in that Earth lore into it. Is the impression I get.
That's cool.
Next we have a couple cool artifact rares. So we've got the Chain Veil and Scuttling Doom Engine. So let's do Chain Veil last. Let's start with this Scuttling Doom Engine. This is a 6-mana, 6/6 construct creature, and it can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and when it dies, it deals 6 damage to target opponent. This card seems great. They can't chump block it easily. When it dies, it has super punishment. This really makes it just a problem for your opponent.
I kind of wonder why it's not an insect or something, like an artifact creature insect construct or something.
I see. Yeah,
it looks like a giant roach.
Yeah, I don't know what the green claws are either. I'm a little bit confused by that.
I'm thinking this is new Phyrexia, first and foremost. And then it's just like making it look Phyrexian by giving it that kind of infectious look without having it have infect.
Okay. Overall, like this card, going to be a snap first pick in Limited, I imagine. Very, very good set of abilities, very efficient cost, and it keeps you open. So, fantastic card for Limited. All right, let's go to the Chain Veil. This is definitely, to me, even though it's a card, like, as a aggressive player or just sort of a value efficiency player in general, I could really never see myself playing this card outside of Commander. But I really fell in love with this card for some reason because it was kind of a direction that I wasn't anticipating, and it's just it's definitely a unique ability. So the Chain Veil is 4 mana legendary artifact. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't activate a loyalty ability of a Planeswalker this turn, you lose 2 life. And then it's got 4 and tap. For each Planeswalker you control, you may activate one of its loyalty abilities once this turn as though none of its loyalty abilities have been activated this turn. So essentially it lets you double up on using loyalty abilities. And without the cost, I believe. No, you still get so
you either have to pay for it by taking off counters or putting them on. So
it's
you
essentially
can't double pump.
But you get double boost of it, right? Very cool.
And you can also go double down, on I don't know what one has a really good down ability that you would want to use twice, but that's cool too.
Super narrow card, just very cool and unique. Is it going to see constructed play? My guess is no. Just in terms of the cost alone, it's just too much. 4 on the top end, 4 again, an actual disadvantage on it, which is very unique and funny. I don't know. It's
so cool. It's like dripping with flavor, and I really like that. But
this is totally a Jake card for sure.
Yeah, I really like this card, but it's just there, and it's part of the story, and it's cool. But that's about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna at least be able to see you jam it in Commander. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, But other than that, I mean, not too much else to say about it except it's a very cool, unique card, and it's a new direction, I think, in terms of cards interacting with Planeswalkers. That's it for this week. So hope you enjoyed our little mini update. We just sort of wanted to get through the rest of the M15 spoilers. Next week, we're going to come back. Do you remember what block we're on now? I don't even remember what block we're on. I think are we on Urza's block still?
I think we're about to start it.
Okay. I think that's where we left off. So we're going to get back to...
we haven't done any... Yeah, we haven't started it yet.
Okay, so we'll get back with Cyclical Evolution and Weird Harvest for next week. Until then, hope everybody had a nice July 4th, and we'll see you in a week. Take it easy, everybody.
Later.